Time to shine today. Varsity Squad. It is Scott Ferguson, and I got a superhuman individual here. My really good friend Julian Hayes from the Nashville, up in Tennessee, but he helps people worldwide. Julian Hayes II. He gives homage to his father, and I dig that about this cat. He's an author, an advisor, and concierge health coach, and the host of the Optimal Health for Business Busy Entrepreneurs, which I'm going to want to direct you to there after you listen to his full interview. His advisory, and by the way, I'm hopefully get an interview on there as well myself, which I can't wait. Wink, wink. His advisory firm's mission is to help entrepreneurs and the elite become superhuman in life and business without the guesswork. So, Julian, thank you for coming on the Time to Shine Today show. Please introduce yourself to the Varsity Squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Black. And when we think about black, it's powerful. It has an aura of mystery around it, and it's sophistication as well.
Yeah, and me, it's slimming. I love it, man.
That's another good. That's another good point. That's another good point.
I love it. I love it. So let's get the origins of you, Julian, man. You're a rock star. You're out there helping others level up. I mean, if you got to go to his Twitter and see this cat, he's built like a brick. He takes really good care of himself. He walks the walk that he talks. So, Julian, let's get into your story, brother.
Yeah. It started around 15, 16 years old. I'm playing basketball, and there's an older gentleman who is running up and down with us playing basketball. Now, granted, I have to say this: he did not outshine me on the court. I was not about to let that happen. But the thing about this guy that was so unique is before that time, I thought that my genes are my destiny. I thought when I get to 30 and after, life starts to go downhill from there because what I saw was a lot of chronic illnesses, a lot of chronic disease. I saw a lot of aunts, a lot of uncles who ended up on dialysis. So I truly thought that that was my destiny and that I better live it up for this next decade or so. And this guy changed my entire paradigm. And I got to talking with him after, and I asked, like, what's your secret? Are you a superhero? Are you X-Men? Are you mutant? Like, what are you doing? And he said, very simply, it's the way you talk to yourself. It's the way you breathe. It's the food you put into your body. It's being committed to moving and treating people well. And that was a very boring answer to me. I wanted something a little more sophisticated. And it took me some years to really let that idea marinate in. But what he did there was plant a seed. And over the course of time throughout life, I started taking care of my health more and more and more. And I saw that, maybe my trajectory is changing a lot. And so this led me to medical school in New York. And when I was in New York, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, as you mentioned. New York's a lot different from Nashville, to
Just a
say the
little
least,
bit.
just a little bit. And so I thought I was weird. I thought I was crazy. And I met some really weird people in New York. But what I also did, I met a lot of people who were really pursuing their dreams. And everyone had a big dream in New York. Everyone's going to be an actor or and win Tony Awards. And I sat in an anatomy class. It's a test, 3 hours long. I looked up halfway. I saw a lot of classmates. They're like sweating bullets, worried about getting answers right. I just zone out and I think, holy crap, this is not what I want to do.
Right.
And so I finished that year. I come back home. I wake up one random night. I look out the window and I was like, that's it. I'm not going back to school. I'm going to be a writer. I never told anyone I like to write or anything. This is just stuff I kept secret. And I'm still going to be involved in health. And I want to coach. And up until that point, and then now it's just been fast forward to today. It's just been a constant evolution of learning, seeking out mentors to keep pushing the needle on our potential and my potential.
Wow. That's awesome. Push the needle on your potential. And you're doing that by seeking out mentors, which in turn, you probably are mentoring people too. Is correct?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I never thought to be at that stage, but now I get a few people asking questions now about the similar calling of like school's very easy. School is
Sure.
very easy for me. You
Right.
just go up, take a test, and you know, and but you're giving up the good to potentially get something that's even greater.
Sure.
And a lot of risk in that, especially when you come from a background like mine, first generation, and it's a lot of pride and say, "Hey, my son's going to be a doctor one day," or other
Right.
family, my son's going to or daughter's going to be a lawyer or whatever, and then like you're going to do online coaching, consulting,
Yeah. What'd your
writing.
family think about all that?
So they asked for a drug test. Just they asked for a drug test, like a lot of friends. And I
Sure.
understand. At first, I was mad that they didn't believe in the vision I saw and everything. But I have to look at it from that point of view. Their son just gave a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of nights of foregoing partying and the typical college experience to get the chance to go become a physician. And then now all of a sudden he wants to just start writing. And I never knew he liked to write. And he made a C throughout college in English. And like, what is this? And so I understand. It was
Right.
more for they were concerned about me. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I never take offense to that. And then I read the four agreements, and that really helped as well.
Dom,
So
absolutely, man. Absolutely. So you kind of went over your fork in the road moment. That's family. That's awesome. What your family kind of thought of your choices. So if I'm at a networking event, Presence and Flush, which we're able to do a little bit here in South Florida, but anywhere, maybe I'm just zooming networking. Is there any good, how would I know if someone would be a great connection, uh, great referral to Julian Hayes
yeah,
the second?
their life and health is pretty good right now, but they have this bug in their stomach that there's more, there's another level to get to. And they also know that they're probably pretty successful right now. And with success also comes a paradox, is what I call the dark sides of success. And with that is their time is in demand a lot more. They have a lot more responsibilities, and that's less time for themselves. So when it comes to taking care of their well-being, they can't really afford to just hope and guess in terms of is this type of eating going to work? Is this type of exercise plan going to work for me? They need precision, they need certainty. And so that's where I come in.
So what do you think makes a great coach then?
Mhm. Hmm. I think, oh man, I forgot the book. Patrick Lencioni.
Hmm.
I think it's called Getting Getting Naked. Yes. And
Okay.
it's yeah, it's a
Love
very
it.
good title. But I think one, willing to be wrong and willing to also say you don't know everything. But then also letting them grow and not just being there just to give advice, but also to take the journey with them.
Love that. Like you nailed it, man. It's like you don't want to be a consultant, right? You
Mhm.
want to like help them find their greatness and help them find it on their own in a sense. Correct? Am I saying that right, Julian?
Yeah, yeah. When we use these words like advisor and
Sure.
consultant, that's professional jargon, and we need people to understand that when they go. But at the end of the day, these people are all the answers, all the power is inside of us. And a lot of times, it's not that we need to go out and get help, and it's more that we want it because we
Right.
want to grow. We want to grow exponentially. We want to shorten the learning curve.
Love that. Love that. So what if you don't mind sharing some of that secret sauce when you bring
Mhm.
somebody kind of isn't a prospect that may turn into a client? What is some of that secret sauce to helping them find their blind spot?
Yeah, well, it's to do a very detailed audit of their life, their health, their body, like looking at every single input to their system. So I call the human body you yourself, you are the system. And there's a lot of different inputs to that. A lot of times, if we're thinking about health right now, we think just about nutrition, we think about the exercise plan.
Yes.
But what about our environment
Right.
that's triggering our behaviors with food? What
Right.
about what about our relationships?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we have the buy-in from those closest to us to be our support system
Right.
and not cause that friction? And so that's one of the things right there. And then also a lot of times with high performers, we like to move at a fast pace. And sometimes the very best thing that we can do first and foremost is to slow down
Take a
in
step
order to
back.
speed up.
Yes. Awesome, dude. Yeah. A lot of it resides in that 6 inches between your temples, man, that triggers stuff. I've learned that through the years as well. Um, so when you're starting to bring someone on, Julian, is there any good question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
Hmm. Yeah, I like what will I need to sacrifice in order to get this goal?
Love it. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's true because a lot of them think that you're just going to kind of guide them and just tell them to do this, this, and this, but they want to know the time, like you just said, there a lot of people are pressed for time. You're going to have to sacrifice different things to make more time. In a sense, you're going to have to lose a little bit of time to make more time in the end. That's fantastic, man. That's awesome. So are you familiar with the movie Back to the Future
A little bit.
with Marty McFly? Okay, well,
A little.
there's a
My movie knowledge is not that
no
good.
problem. So, anyways, he got in a DeLorean. He went back in time. So, if you could get in a DeLorean, go back to the 20-year-old Julian. What kind of knowledge nuggets are you dropping on him to help him level up, shorten that learning curve, and blast through?
Two things come to mind. Number one is to patiently execute. And the second one is to go ask for help. That's a tough one for me, to start asking for help. So I'm an only child, and a lot of things, I've been a career student for most of my life, and to get good grades just needs to rely on myself and time. And so it was hard to really go out and ask for help, because I
Right.
thought it was saying that I'm weak as a man.
Weak.
I'm not good enough. So I wish I did that, and my learning curve would have been so much shorter. Because the crazy thing is, a lot of these people that we look at as very successful and everything, they love to give back because they know how hard it is to get to where they are, and they know that it takes a village to succeed. And where they are right now, they wouldn't have gotten there without a lot of people.
I love that you say that, because mentoring, I do a lot of mentoring myself. And, my mentor told me that, the more you mentor, the more immortal you become.
Mhm.
Right. So it's like you pass it on, pass it on. They keep passing it down, passing it down. It's fantastic. And also patiently execute, squad. I mean, that is what we talk about all the time. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. By the yard, it's hard. Like patiently execute and ask for that help. That's awesome, Julian. So how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your
Mhm.
expiration date. How do you want Julian's dash remembered?
Yeah, I read that every morning. I have a folder. It's the Mindset 2.0 folder that I have,
Okay.
and that's the last thing. And some of the I'm not going to read the whole thing on
No,
here.
you're
And,
fine.
some of those things in my head is that, an audacious mindset, limitless, and inspiring to really push your potential.
Wow. So you said audacious mindset
Hmm.
and push that potential. Wow.
Hmm.
Squad, you better be taking notes, because I know that I am. This man is dropping some serious knowledge nuggets, man. That's fantastic. So, Julian, what keeps you up at night, man?
If I can do more, and I want to do more, yeah.
Right.
So it's
You
a
feel like you haven't done enough a lot of times, right? You're like, oh, could
yeah,
accomplish more. The older
yeah.
you get, because I'm coming up on 50, and I learned that 24 hours in a day is actually real.
Mhm.
It's like all that time management. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, believe it or not, I don't really like to sleep. Now
Right.
I'm fairly diligent with my sleep, because I realize that
The recovery.
it
Yeah.
gives me power. But if there's ever a day where there's a sleep pill, a limitless pill, I will be first in line for it. So I can have more time to do things.
Yeah, that me too. Maybe I'll be right in line next to you, man, and I'll have whatever amount of money that they need to make that happen in my hand. So
Yes.
as we level things down just a little bit, we have our leveling up lightning round, Julian. We do 5 or 6 questions I'm going to ask you. Zero, no explanations. Okay. I just want first thing that comes to your mind. We'll move on to the next question. You ready?
Okay.
Awesome. Let's level up. What is the best leveling up Julian's advice Julian's ever received?
Do it for the intention, not the attention.
Oh my gosh. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Hmm. Playing salsa music every morning.
Get that movement going. I love it. So, other than your own website, which is the art of life and fitness, or the art of fitness and life.com, and of course, time to shine today.com, my shameless plug. What website do you like to go to level up and get rocking?
Man, yeah, I forgot the name of it. But it's a hotel. It's like just a bunch of hotels. I would say
Okay.
wallpaper, I think .com or design.
Okay.
I like looking at design and beautiful things.
Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, look behind him, man. The place is decked out. It's beautiful. So, if I'm in my doldrums, just not feeling it, and you're like, Fergie, read this book. What's that book?
Mm, that's a good one. I think I like Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill.
Oh, there you go. Love it. They just did another write-up on that. I know I'm breaking my own rule, but they did another write-up on that with Sharon Lecter just did that. So I
Really?
believe it was Sharon Lecter. Yeah, it literally just dropped. So I have to check that out again. So what's your most commonly used emoji?
I don't use. I think the fire symbol.
Fire symbol. Fire. Love it. Love it. What's your favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time and or money to?
Right now, it was the mission at the Nashville mission.
Okay. Love it. Love it. That's great. And keeping it local and keeping it real. Love that. Last question. You can, you know, kind of give us a reason on this one. But what's the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
Mm, I wasn't even born during this decade, but it has to be the 70s.
All right. How
Here's
old are you,
why.
man? How old are you, brother?
I'm biologically or chronologically, I'm 34, but
Okay.
biologically, I'm in my 20s. You can measure.
Oh,
this
yeah.
but
Absolutely.
but it has to be the 70s. And my dad ingrained had all these musics playing. So you got Earth, Wind, and Fire. My favorite artist is Marvin Gaye. Uh,
Nice. You
I
got some
played.
Motown bringing in. That's nice. I'm from Detroit, bro.
Mhm,
So it's like I love my 70s music, and I'm a
mhm.
product of the 80s. I was born in 72, but it's like I'm a product of the 80s. So I'm like I feel you. All the decades. That's what my answer is. Like I just love music. If you even say salsa, it's
Mhm.
funny. I used to get hired by a guy in Jupiter, Florida here to actually come into his salsa dancing restaurant and go take the ladies out of their chairs to get them dancing and stuff. That was some of the funnest times in my
Yeah.
life. I
Oh,
love
that's
it.
awesome. That seems like an awesome job. Yeah, I got into salsa because I needed to work on kind of getting out of my comfort zone.
Yeah,
I'm a typical wallflower.
really.
Yeah,
Would have never known that from your social, man. I mean, not
it's
that you're like a
mhm.
bragger or anything, but you just seem like you want to give so much great content to people.
Yeah, it's a skill that you just it's like a mission. You say, okay, this is where I want to go.
Sure.
These are the skills I need to do. So it's like a video game.
Right.
I need to level up this character. So let's do it.
Love it. So how can we find you, Julian?
Like you said, the home base is theartofitnessandlife.com. And there you'll see the links to the podcast Optimal Health for Busy Entrepreneurs. And you'll also, by the time this is released, you'll be able to see to join me for my private newsletter. It's going to be called, I think, Superhuman Insider. So,
Wow. Okay. So how about that? Any books you've written? You said you're an author.
oh yeah, it's a book called Body Architect. I think it's like I call it like a fitness origin story. I read it a few years ago.
Okay. And can you find that on
It's on
Amazon?
yeah, it's
Okay.
on Amazon.
Okay. All right, squad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give out a free. Is it a print copy also?
It is.
All right, squad. I'm going to give out a free. I'm going to buy it, have it shipped to Julian. He's going to John Hancock it, and hopefully he'll pick up the postage and mail it out to you. But the first person
Absolutely.
that replies on either Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook fan page for Time to Shine Today will get a free book from Julian. I'd be happy to send that out to you, and Julian will sign it for you. So, Julian, leave us. Oh, hold on. Tell us about your podcast, man.
Yeah, so it's called Optimal Health for Busy Entrepreneurs, and it's the marriage of what I call science and business. So
Okay.
we're talking health on there, but we're also having entrepreneurs on there as well to talk about their day in life and how to keep themselves going. Because as an entrepreneur, as a high performer, health is not just physical. Then it's a lot mental, it's a lot of emotional, it's a lot of relationships. So it's a lot of that in there. So it's a little different than probably the typical health podcast.
Love it. I love it. So leave us with one last knowledge nugget that you can help that will help us that we should internalize and take action on.
Hmm. Yeah, today. I think with the way the world is right now, you got to stay focused on your mission. Really know
Love
your
it.
mission and stay focused on what you're building right now because there's a lot going on in the world right now and sometimes that can make you feel like you don't have any control or that you don't have a lot of power, but if you really step back and look at the big picture and look at your goals, you have all the power in the world to make it happen still.
Love it. And squad, you've been basically given a free masterclass by my good friend here, Julian Hayes II from the art of fitness and life.com. He's a superhuman human being. He's also believes in human kindness. He'll remind you that your genes are not your destiny. that you need to level up the way you talk to yourself, the food you eat, your movement, and how you treat people. If you do those things, you can attain your greatness every single day. He wants to make sure that you that he pushes his needle by mentoring. You know that there's always another level. And if you know that there is and you're stuck, let me make a warm introduction to you and Julian. I can do that. He thinks that a great coach is willing to be wrong, but he's also willing to correct that wrong, and he'll also help you find your own path. He's not a consultant or an advisor. He's going to help guide you so you can make your own decision. He wants you to patiently execute. Again, like we say here, inch by inch, it's a cinch. He wants you to patiently execute. But while you're executing, if you're stuck, ask for freaking help. Reach out to people. Don't be too proud, because they can help shorten that learning curve. He's limitless. He wants to have that audacious mind, and he wants you to push your potential. And this one just stuck out, man, because I got like 2 pages of notes here, people. But listen, man, do it for intention, not attention. That is the most humble thing anyone's ever said in the 185 interviews that I've did so far. That is fantastic. Make sure that you look out for his Superhuman Insider, his newsletter that's coming out. Most of all, stay focused on your mission. And Julian, you're the epitome of a go-giver. You're leveling up your health. You're leveling up your wealth. I appreciate you carving your valuable time to come on the Time to Shine Today podcast. You've earned your varsity letter here. Thank you so much for coming on, my friend.
Thank you so much. And also thank you for your service as well.
I appreciate it, brother. Talk soon.
All right. Peace.